the ban on diesel and petrol vehicles by 2030 rapidly approaching, HSSMI has been working with automotive manufacturers to help solve certain questions. Is there any way an internal combustion engine or ICE machinery can be repurposed for producing electric drive units or EDUs? Is it required to buy all new machinery to produce electric vehicles? And what is the most efficient way to transition from ICE to EDU production in terms of time, space and cost?
In this video, we want to explain the work recently undertook to conclude that yes, there is a significant amount of machinery that automotive manufacturers already own that can be repurposed for the manufacture of electric vehicles. In a recent project, we worked with a UK leading automotive manufacturer to assess the feasibility of repurposing their existing assets. We focus on three key aspects: space, time, and cost. And on answering these three specific questions: what are the differences in space requirements to produce EDUs as compared to ICE vehicles? How quickly can production be ramped up or down to meet variations in demand? What are the main cost drivers associated with transitioning to electric vehicle production?
So we conducted a market survey to identify equipment gaps and the potential to reuse existing equipment. Then we drew up concept layouts for EDU production to be able to contrast them with the existing ICE production line layouts. We also looked at aspects related to material handling and logistics. In terms of simulations, HSSMI designed a virtual simulation to validate the design and process flow of the various assembly lines. The simulation helped us test our assumptions before any changes were made in real life. The model provided an indicator of the realistic output that could be expected when switching from ICE to EDU production. Given the clear visualization, we were able to identify unforeseen issues and areas for further optimization and flag these to the OEM.
As electric vehicle production is at an early stage, it was important to design the manufacturing strategy as well as the simulation with a high degree of flexibility. It is impossible to accurately forecast how quickly electrification will be achieved, and the simulation provided an overview of what will happen in the case of volume and product variations.
So in terms of key findings, our findings actually cover three aspects to correspond to the questions that we set out initially. These are space, time and cost.
We found, broadly speaking, producing an EDU requires less space than producing an internal combustion engine. This means that in transition, some space will be made available, which could be used for production expansion, new product manufacture, or as a turnaround space during product changeovers. Furthermore, as EDU manufacturing requires less parts and movement of materials, material flows can be optimized to achieve a much leaner production operation overall.
In terms of time, the design strategy allowed for a staggered transition from ICE to EDU. ICE facilities can be gradually ramped down and made available for EDU lines to be installed, commissioned and piloted, while ICE production continues in other areas of the plant. As EDU production volume increases, more areas of the plant can then be used, and the ICE equipment can be repurposed. This provides a great advantage in terms of timing, in contrast with the traditional approach of building brand new facilities for EDUs.
Our research and our strategy concluded that a high level of between 70 and 80% of machining equipment can be typically repurposed or reused directly. Most of the transportation and automation equipment can be reused for assembly operations. This represents a huge savings in terms of CapEx. In terms of OpEx, we analyzed the required manning strategy for the new manufacturing lines and found that it requires less significant resources compared to traditional ICE lines. Therefore, further OpEx savings can be also expected.
If you'd like to find out more about our work on repurposing, or if your manufacturing business requires support in transitioning from electric to electric vehicle production, please get in touch by writing to the email address at the end of this video.